In today's video, Dog Squad, we're going to be doing my first video this year of predictions. Usually I'm doing shorts, but I decided to do predictions so I can talk about the games for Week 13 in the 2024 NFL season. But as we kick off today's episode, I do want to thank you for all the support, the likes, subscribers, and views on every single video, and also the shares and comments. We're close to 1K, so let's try to get that soon. And now, that was a pretty short intro. Now, without further ado, let's get right into this video. Alright, so now you see we got the first pick, the Chargers and the Falcons, tomorrow at noon. The Chargers are coming off a loss on Monday night to the Baltimore Ravens. Falcons coming off a bye week. I think the Chargers are the much better team. I think they're gonna hit the Falcons on the run in the pass game tomorrow with Justin Herbert. Now they don't have J.K. Dobbins, so that might affect them wise. But then again, the Falcons are not that good on the run game, so I don't really see that being a problem. I think Justin Herbert will be able to find receivers anyways. I think their defense, the Chargers' defense, will stand up to Atlanta's offense. They just have not been clicking lately. And that might be because of Drake London being out, but they do have plenty of weapons to go around. So I don't think the Falcons will win tomorrow. I think LA will take care of business. I think they're the more complete team. Especially with Jim Harbaugh as the head coach. I think they're the better team. Obviously, they got the much better, both-sided, balanced-sided team, and they'll be able to get to Bijan better. I think they'll be able to contain Kirk Cousins for quite a while. And I don't think the Falcons will be able to play well against the Chargers. Now they got Gus Edwards, who's not a bad running back as a backup, so they still can do something with the Falcons having trouble on the run defense. Now, this is a pretty good game. We all love those AFC North battles. There's always a matchup, and I think that's why Cincinnati's going to get the win. I don't think the Steelers' offense is going to be converting. They haven't really been doing that lately against AFC North opponents, and especially if they're going to Cincinnati. I don't think they'll do that tomorrow. I think they're going to have trouble defending Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, even though they're a good defense. They might be able to get to Burrow and pressure him with T.J. Watt, but I don't think it's going to last all game. I think they're going to be able to find a rhythm eventually. I think the Steelers' offense, they can get going as the Bengals don't have a good defense. I think the Steelers' offense, though, we've seen that even though, Ravens, they didn't even have that good of a defense. The Steelers still couldn't put points on them. I think the Bengals' defense will be better tomorrow. They protected against the Chargers' offense the whole entire second half. I think it could be a shootout. But it might be, since it's the AFC North, it's always a battle. I'm just going to take Cincinnati. I'm going to give them the home field advantage. I'm going to give them the win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do think it's going to be a different Bengals team we see tomorrow. But, hey, it's the AFC North. We all can see that. Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. I do think the Vikings are going to win this game. I see the Cardinals play better. Kyler Murray, connecting to Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner having a better season, not being so much of an inconsistent team like we've seen Arizona be. But this Vikings team is much better, I think, than we've seen the past couple weeks. They were much better. They were a great team back first 5 weeks. They started kind of falling off a little bit, maybe, still winning games, but, not playing as strong. They came off the lose to the Lions, and they played really well, and then they lost. Then they ended up losing to the Rams. It's like, then they almost lost to the Colts, and then they started kind of playing sloppy against some bad teams, but they got some victories, and then they started playing much better. I think their defense is also a big reason why they are 9-2. Of course, Sam Darnold is still playing well. I think teams are starting to recognize Justin Jefferson, and this Cardinals defense is getting better now. They've had a much better season, more efficient of a defense, more stronger of a defense than we've seen before. I think that's what's helping them also get the wins. They're stronger on both sides of the ball. But I don't think it'll be enough to contain a high-powered offense that's getting, that was struggling and was softer, but now it's getting, now it's scoring more points with that Vikings offense. And especially, I don't think the Cardinals defense is going to be able to contain that tomorrow. And I do think the Vikings defense won't let Kyler Murray. You saw what Seattle did last week. I don't think they'll be able to do it. And I'm going to also give Vikings the home field advantage. It's a hard place to play. One hard for Dallas last year, but 2 years ago. But it definitely can be a hard place to play in Minnesota at US Bank Stadium. I'm going to take the Vikings to win this game. All right, so the Colts and the Patriots. Now, Anthony Richardson, I still think he has potential. The Patriots don't have that good of a defense. Not saying the Colts do, but I think the Colts are obviously, I think they Drake May could definitely put up a show. Not really a show, but maybe with a couple TDs. You could see the progression out of both of these young quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson was hurt last year. He started basically kind of like a rookie year, kind of. He only played like 4 games last year. I know he has more interceptions than TDs. I know he's still trying to get used to this. But also a couple injuries doesn't really help him. And also getting benched. So he's missed games this year. But the Colts, I say win this game due to we saw what they did against the Jets. Now, that Jets defense, that's supposed to be really good. But we saw what they did against them. I do see them doing another thing just like that this week. Excuse me. I see the Colts. I think I see a lot more what was I going to say? I'm trying to say execution. Sorry. Execution out of this offense. Now we started to see more completions over to Michael Pittman. We saw him, I know Joe Flacco liked getting into Josh Downs. We're seeing now a little bit mixture of both. We're seeing now Jonathan Taylor doing well around the ball. We're seeing this Colts offense maybe start to develop something. We're seeing this Colts team maybe have a chance of making the playoffs. I don't think they will, but maybe, just maybe, they have a chance to maybe get around 8 or 9 wins this year. It's going to be up to Anthony Richardson, the progression of that, how long will that last. It starts with beating the Patriots tomorrow. I do see them putting up some good amount of points against New England. I can see New England fighting with them, so I will expect this to probably be a close game, but I do see the Colts getting the win. Moving on, Seattle and New York. I can't trust New York at the moment. I just can't trust the Jets. They just have not been playing like the New York Jets we kind of assumed. Some people have them Super Bowl contenders, and now they're one of the worst teams in the league. Aaron Rodgers isn't playing the same exact way. He's getting old. Devontae Adams is not getting really playing like that. Breece Hall's he's still a good running back. Defense is kind of overrated right now. I don't think Sauce Gardner is that good as people think he is. I just can't trust them in Seattle. We've seen Geno Smith on and off games, but he'll probably be having a pretty good game tomorrow. Getting the DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, all those players that are making the Seahawks offense do much better. Mike McDonald making this defense a much better defense than we've seen. The defense that was not good, they lost Bobby Wagner, and now they're getting back to a good defense. Not, of course, the Legion of Doom or something like that, but they're getting much to a better defense than we've seen before. There was a struggle last year with them, and now they're picking that back up, and this is why they are winning more games, and they're connecting more on the offense. Geno's having a good year. He's like top 5 in passing yards this year. This team is going to probably put up a good amount, win by double digits against the New York Jets. Titans and Commanders. Now, I don't see a Commanders fall off, not to Will Levis, Will Levis has been playing better. I just don't see a Commanders fall off tomorrow. I do see, now we could be coming back here and the game could be over. It's like, well, I guess the fall off did happen. No, the Commanders will take care of business tomorrow. I think Jane Daniels will play a lot cleaner. I know Austin Eckler's on injured reserve, but they'll get the ball. They've gotten the ball more to Terry McLaurin. I know their defense has also been inconsistent this year, but they're going to pick it back up. I can maybe see a scare tomorrow with the Titans on them. I think Will Levis has also played better. Calvin Ridley ain't been too bad this year for the Titans, but this team could give a scare tomorrow. They've seemed to be giving scares to some teams this year, but I do think the Commanders get the win. Then they'll take care of business, and they get to 8-5, knock down the 3-game losing streak. Now, we were a bad team too, but I think we're better than Tennessee, and we're also a division opponent with the Commanders. So I think the Commanders will be fine, and they'll pull off the win. Houston taking on Jacksonville. Honestly, I could see a Jacksonville win. I just think they're way too banged up at the moment. I can see one, but no. Jaguars defense is trash. Offense, not good. It's terrible. This Jaguars team, I understand it's a division game, but I just don't see the Jaguars beating the Texans. I just don't see it. C.J. Stroud may throw a couple picks. He might not have the best game, but you have Joe Mixon in the backfield. If you run the ball to him, you'll be scoring all game. I don't know what y'all are doing, why y'all don't give him the ball. I know the defense isn't that top 10 defense we saw, but you're going up against Jacksonville. They might get more of a fight. Mac Jones might have some surprisingly good game and run on a little sanity run for two games. I don't know. It might be close. I just don't see it happening. I'm just going to take the Texans. I know they struggled, but they'll be fine. You see what happened when they play us, and we're rivals with them too. We're in-state rivals. We don't like them either, and we still, I know they're division rivals, and they still pull off a win. They'll be scared probably for a moment, but they'll get the win in Jacksonville. Again, I know a lot of people are picking the New Orleans Saints for this. I get it. But this is a new start for New Orleans. They have been, I think, a cleaner team than we saw them with Dennis Allen after that 2-7 record. The 7-game losing streak. They have now, I think they have won 2 out of the last 3 games. Sorry, 2-6, then they got fired. They went 2-6, I believe. And now they've won 2 out of the past 3 games with the new head coach. This is a much cleaner team. I think the Rams' off defense, of course, isn't as good anymore. I think that's going to be a field day for Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara. I don't think it's going to be a good day for the Rams' defense. I think the offense is going to be more productive for, obviously, the Saints. But I think the defense, they're a pretty good defense. They got a pretty good pass defense, one of the best corner groups, one of the best D-back groups in the nation. They definitely could lock up Puka Nacua tomorrow, and I just also think the momentum at home is going to get to the Rams. It's going to help the Saints. I see the win. I feel the win, and I give the Saints credit. They're doing a much better job, and I'm going to give them the win tomorrow. I see New Orleans taking the dub tomorrow. Tampa Bay and Carolina. Look, Bryce Young's playing a pretty good. We'll give him. He's playing pretty good, but so is Baker Mayfield. He's playing out of his mind this year. Obviously, a couple of losses were because of Chris Godwin and Mike Evans getting hurt. That's a lot to do with the offensive situation for Tampa Bay. I think they'll be able to contain Bryce Young tomorrow. I don't think he'll have as good a day as he did against the Chiefs. I know that's kind of ironic because the Chiefs defense have one of the best. But they could, but I don't see it. I mean, I don't think he'll have that good of a day, but I can't see him having maybe a TD and maybe the Panthers putting up like 17 to 20 points. I could see that happening, but I think Tampa could put up around 30 points. I know Carolina's secondary is pretty good, but Baker Mayfield's also pretty good. And when you connect to Cade Otton or Mike Evans, someone like that, bad stuff can happen. Tampa Bay will get the win to go to 6-6 tomorrow in Week 13. This is the game of the week right here. Eagles and Ravens. This is the best game of the week, and for a reason. You got the best offense versus the best defense. The Ravens are coming up with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. That's going to be a threat to Philadelphia. Now, a lot of people can say, well, they haven't played anyone. Look, the Ravens have played the Chargers and the Broncos. They have one of the best scoring teams, and they've beaten them. They've scored, if you combine, 71 points over the Broncos and the Chargers, one of the best scoring defenses in the league. Eagles, I've seen some of their defensive plays, some of their defensive scores. They aren't as good as people think, but they definitely have a good run defense and definitely have a good pass defense. So they can contain Derrick Henry, but will they be able to contain a big man like that? You could say the same thing to the Ravens defense against one of the best offenses in the league as well, top 5 in that. Against the Ravens defense, who haven't been that well, but you have to be able to contain Saquon Barkley. Look, this offense isn't as good also as people think for the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, they had trouble against. Now, our defense isn't terrible. They had trouble scoring against us, and they finally got going. There was some other games they had trouble getting up. They have a slow start. They're gonna have trouble getting involved because they could get the defense tired when that high-powered offense of the Ravens gets going. So this offense I know is good for Philadelphia, but I do think it's going to be probably a high-scoring game. Of course, it's going to be, you're going to have probably a couple TDs, maybe 1 TD, 2 TDs from each running back tomorrow. I think it's maybe away from that. And Lamar could run it in tomorrow. We'll also see some passing probably from each team as well for maybe a TD, maybe some field goals. Maybe it'll be a running game because these running backs are something else between Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. A matchup we wanted to see. But I think the Ravens get the job done. It's a close game. I think they will be able to contain. Saquon at first. Maybe towards the halftime, after halftime, second half. He may get free a little bit, but it could be the same with the Eagles. But also, I think the high-powered offense. We've seen some Eagles consistency out of that offense. Also, slowing start. I think the high-powered offense out of the Baltimore Ravens is not going to be able to. The Eagles aren't going to be able to get them all day. I know that now they could. Eagles, though, they can break them on the pass, but they really do have some good guys. The Ravens have some good guys. I think they've got the guys to win tomorrow. I think they'll play like that in a much bigger game. I do see the Ravens winning, but it's going to be close. This was a tough one to pick, but I do see the Ravens getting the win. I definitely see this offense going over. It's going to be, I think, on and off. You're going to have some good drives for the Ravens and good drives for the Eagles defense, and you're going to have some of this, blah, 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 right here. But I think the Ravens have a high-powered one. I think they'll be able to run the Eagles defense down late in the game. I think they get the win. Moving on, the Sunday Night Football game, the Niners and the Bills. Well, this was a game that apparently snowed. And the Niners, though, they are struggling like heck. You cannot pick San Francisco in this game. The Niners, Josh Allen is an MVP candidate. He's been able to connect to these receivers that were younger. Dalton Knox, Keon Coleman. I think Knox is out tomorrow. It's either him or Kincaid. I don't remember because he's on my other. I'm playing him in fantasy. Yeah, he's on the other team, but he's hurt. So I don't remember. It's either Knox or Kincaid. But one of them's out. This Buffalo defense is much better than we probably expected. A lot of the guys leaving this team is much better on the defensive side. But they give it to that. They're able to stop a struggling 49ers offense. Defense isn't the same. I know you still have Fred Warner, but you don't have Dre Greenlaw and all of them for the Niners. They're still struggling. They don't have the right guys. They'll get the win. The Bills will tomorrow. Monday Night Football, Cleveland Browns, Denver Broncos. Bo Nix going to go up against that Browns team and light them up. I know the Browns defense, but then somehow they didn't lose anyone, and somehow they're still playing, still against the CC. You could maybe get pressure. I could see Myles Garrett getting some pressure. It won't be to Bo Nix, but it won't be enough. Broncos have played really well, efficient this year. They moved the ball well. They've been able to score a lot more points since the beginning of the year, and that's why they're 7-5. And their defense is elite. They're top 5 in the league in defensive situations. They're top 5 in passing defense, at least top 10, especially when Patrick Surtain's out in the field. This team is no joke and can definitely go to the playoffs again. I think they will. They'll beat Cleveland by quite a bit, and I've put 38 points in my total. I usually just guess for a tiebreaker. But Dog Squad, that's going to wrap up for today's video. I do want to thank you so much for watching. Hopefully my picks are right. I will later tonight after these games end, I will make a college football week 14 recap, and I'll post that as well. I apologize for never doing a Giants-Cowboys actual full video on it. I was never doing it Thursday. I made it one of the scores. I was planning on doing it Friday. I was kind of tired, and I also kind of wanted to do some other stuff yesterday. I wanted to do college football, and then today now is my prediction. So sorry about that, Dog Squad. But I will see you next time. Enjoy week 13. Peace.